Hi, creatives. I'm so happy you could join me today for my presentation on learning how to develop an effective PR strategy for authors. My name is Lillian, and I'm going to be walking you through why PR is powerful, how mindset, positioning, goal planning, and learning how to build the building blocks of a strategy can help you launch a successful strategy to help you meet your goals. And we're going to go through it step by step today. So let's get started. You might be asking yourself, who is Lillian? Well, I am a longtime PR coach who has worked extensively with authors, empowering them to gain the confidence to learn how to use PR to become the global industry leaders that I know they can be. How do I do that? Through my strategic coaching intensives, my in-depth self-paced PR course, 8-week coaching program, and my campaign services, I help authors push past limiting beliefs and mindset blocks, get their burning questions answered, and help give them clarity, perspective, and personalized guidance to launch successful PR campaigns to achieve their goals. So here's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be focusing on what PR is and why it's powerful, why mindset and having a strong one is crucial to PR success, how positioning and goal planning helps you to develop a successful strategy, and we're going to wrap up by focusing on some of the tools you can use to learn how to measure key campaign results. So what is PR exactly, and why is it powerful? Well, in a nutshell, PR is the most cost-effective way for you to learn how to build third-party credibility for your books and your author brand. Why is that? Because every media outlet out there, whether it's a podcast, a magazine, or an online website, has spent years cultivating their own reputations, building that trust with their audience. So when they choose to feature you, that trust that their audiences have in them is transferred in part to you. It's the most cost-effective way for you to build third-party credibility because the media is not related to you. They don't work for you. They're not your friends and family, and you're not paying them to feature you. They choose to feature you because they believe in you and your books, and they think your story is compelling enough that their audiences deserve to learn about you too. So how do you make PR work for you? At its heart, it's about storytelling and building relationships. How do you do that? Building positive relationships with key media outlets to get in front of the right readers where they spend their time will come down to the story you share about your author's journey and your books and how and where you share that story. So how do you begin to build a successful PR strategy that will help you create and foster and forge those strong media relationships? It starts with mindset, positioning, and goal planning, and then taking the time to build the building blocks of a successful PR strategy. So let's get into it. What exactly is mindset, and why is it important? Mindset is the established set of attitudes, beliefs, and thoughts that you have about yourself as an author and your books. It's incredibly powerful because it can influence your subconscious thoughts, your decision making, and why and when you choose to take certain actions. So why then is that crucial to your PR strategy and PR success in general? Your mindset and subconscious beliefs have the power to influence the type of strategy you build, or if you even build one, period, and it has the power to both push you forward and hold you back when it comes to achieving the goals that you have for your books. So let's get into some of the subconscious beliefs that could be holding you back from moving forward with building a successful PR strategy. These are not by any means an exhaustive list, but it can include some of these. Imposter syndrome, such as believing that you don't know what you're doing as an author, your books are not worthy of promotion, people are going to find out you're a fraud, fearing that you're wasting your money, stress, anxiety, and frustration that it's taking too long, that you're spending time pitching the wrong people, you're spending time trying to build relationships with people that'll never be interested, not having that patience. All of these limiting beliefs can influence your beliefs in PR myths. And myths such as you need an audience already built of thousands to qualify for PR to find success. Or that maybe if you've already launched a book, you can't promote it anymore. Or that you need to spend tens of hundreds of $1,000s to see real and true results. All of these things can stop you from building a successful PR strategy. It could prevent you from taking the time that you need to do media outreach, to do media research, to really refine your PR pitch so you're putting your best foot forward. Letting yourself fall into the trap of feeling anxious, afraid, feeling like you're a fraud that's going to get found out will impact what kind of strategy you build, or if you build one at all. So how do you push past these limiting beliefs to develop a stronger PR mindset? Dive into what triggers these subconscious beliefs. Every time you see another author landing an interview that you want, getting the reviews that you're looking for, and you feel jealous, or you feel frustrated, or you feel like an imposter because clearly they know what they're doing and you don't. Sit back and think about why you feel that way. When you see somebody, an author who has an audience of thousands getting an interview, and you think, oh, I could never do that for myself. Sit back and think about why you feel that way. Once you understand what triggers your subconscious beliefs, your negative subconscious limiting beliefs, you can develop a set of tools such as mantras and meditations to help you build healthy coping mechanisms. Here's a few that I want you to hang on to. Whenever you feel frustrated and stressed out that things are not moving fast enough, remind yourself, building and launching a PR strategy takes time. I've been pitching the media that I know are interested, and I need to give them that time to respond. In the meantime, I can look at other activities I can do to supplement and elevate my PR campaign, such as booking events, doing giveaways, and working with other authors on collaborations. When you feel like your imposter syndrome is creeping in and you're thinking everyone's going to find out you're a fraud, I want you to remind yourself of this. I know what I'm doing because I already have built an audience on social media, through email, and through my website, and they've told me that they're excited to read what I'm putting out. I know I have an audience that believes in me and that believes I know what I'm doing. If you find yourself feeling jealous of someone else's results, remind yourself of this. What I'm seeing is the end result of someone else building their own PR strategy to launch a successful campaign. I didn't see the behind the scenes that go into building their PR campaign. So their strategy may have worked out very similar to mine. And lastly, when you find yourself feeling overwhelmed about building your media kit, brainstorming media pitches, building a media list, I want you to say this to yourself. Breaking down these tasks into bite-sized chunks and putting a time limit on them is going to help me complete the task a lot easier, avoid overwhelm, and allow me to continue to make progress. So that means if I set a half an hour timer on what I'm doing to do media contact research and I only find 5 contacts today, that's okay. I'm still moving forward and making progress. So keep these mantras in mind when you find yourself feeling triggered in these different scenarios. After mindset, it's about positioning. And what is it about positioning that makes it matter? Well, I hate to tell you this, but there are thousands of authors who do what you do, who write in your genre. So what you do is not unique. It's how you do it and why you do it that makes you stand out as an author. So start getting introspective about your author's journey and what you want people to know about your book. When you have strong positioning and you have the confidence in the kind of author you are, whether it's a memoir, romance, crime thriller, fantasy, sci-fi, whatever genre it is, having that confidence and having that strong positioning will help you brainstorm benchmark goals to work towards. What are your objectives that you want to achieve with this campaign, and how can you build key results to measure how and when you've achieved them? Having a strong position will also help build an effective foundation for things like your biographies and synopsis for your media kit, and the pitches, the story pitches that you will send out to the media. Having a strong position will build that foundation so that you know what you're going to send out to the media. So let's dig into positioning and goal planning a little bit more. So when you're confident in your position, like I mentioned before, it's much easier to brainstorm what your objectives are, getting strong in your positioning is really about getting introspective into things like, why did you become an author? Why did you write this particular story? What are some of the themes of this story that you want audiences to learn more about? How do you want this book to captivate and entertain audiences? How do you want them to think and feel about your book? What sort of discussions do you want to encourage them to have? Those are just some of the questions you need to ask to develop a strong position. Once you have that, though, then it makes it a lot easier to brainstorm your objectives. Your objectives should be concrete, inspirational, and action-oriented. For example, an objective might be, I want to lead my first presentation at a book festival. It's concrete, it's inspirational, and it's action-oriented because you know you want to present your first presentation. So here are the key results that can measure how you achieve that. Okay, let's put a date on when you want to lead your first presentation. Let's say 6 months from now. So in 6 months, I want to lead my first presentation. What are the key results that are going to drive that? Well, I want people to know who I am and know the knowledge that I have to share with the writing world and with readers. So I'm going to pitch to 12 different industry blogs and newsletters to write guest posts in order to help me establish my reputation as a thought leader and someone who is knowledgeable and experienced in, say, doing research for fantasy novels so that people will book me for that presentation. And I want to pitch these 12 industry blogs, sites, and newsletters over the next 4 months. Here's another example of an objective. I want to increase my sales with online bookstores and vendors as well as book boxes over the next 3 months, and I want to schedule a media tour where I can do interviews for that. So here are the key results that would help you measure that distribution objective. Let's say a key result is, I want to land in 3 online bookstores in 3 months. And I want to create content that's going to help me raise my profile enough to increase sales that will help them see that I am a worthy author and my book is worthy to take on. So I'm going to pitch in a month 6 different interview opportunities. I'm going to create content that's going to highlight reviews that I've gotten in order to increase my social media followers by 50 in 3 months. And I'm going to do a media tour where I'm being highlighted on genre-specific podcasts, 6 of them, so 1 a month, in order to reach my goal of attracting new distributors. I'm showing them that I'm increasing my reputation, and I'm also increasing my own audience so that they know that when they take me on in their book box or their bookstore, that I have the audience that will also help promote them. So these are some examples of key objectives and results that you can use to measure how you've achieved those objectives. It's your objectives that will determine how you build your strategy, what areas you want to focus on, and determine your budget. Because your objectives also feature whether you want education or personalized support and guidance. And also whether you want your objectives to be genre specific, national, local, or international. All of these things affect whether you are looking for education to take on a PR strategy on your own, to gain the confidence to learn how to run one on your own, whether you're looking to work with a publicist or a PR agency who will launch the campaign for you, or whether you want a mixture of both. And if you want genre specific versus local versus national versus international, that will also increase your budget accordingly. Building the right strategy to get in front of the readers you want to be in front of should not be at the last minute before launch. Because as I'm sure you've seen so far, it takes time to build a strong and healthy mindset, to brainstorm your positioning, and to really plan out your objectives and key results. You should be thinking about the strategy you want to build when you're starting to edit your book. Why? Because you're starting to think at that point about how to get it in front of the right audiences. Whether you're working with beta readers or ARC readers, you're starting to think about, how do I find these people? And finding the right people takes time, because you need time to really think about where your mindset is at, how you want to position your books to attract the right audience, and how you want to brainstorm the goals that you're going to meet with your campaign. Once you've thought about your mindset and shored that up, you've built an effective positioning strategy and thought about your objectives and the key results you want to measure those objectives with, it's time to get into the nitty-gritty of creating the building blocks of an effective PR strategy. To launch a successful PR campaign, you need certain building blocks that will help you, A, know what to send to the media, and B, pitch the right people in the media. So it's about developing a compelling media kit, engaging story pitches, and a robust enough media contact database so you're not having to do media research every single day, that will help you get in front of the right readers in your audience. So let's dive into it a little bit. A media kit is about the audio and visual representation of your book. It is the complete promotional package that gets the media to learn more about you and your books. If the pitch gets them in the door, the media kit is what fills in some of those gaps that will help them promote you properly on social media and through email, and give them some context to build interview questions for you. So the focus of your media kit should be how you want to present your bio, your author story, and your books the best way possible through images, audio and video, and written formats. So that means you start thinking about how do you want to present your books visually when it comes to things like the cover image. Is it a necessity for you to have professional cover images done? That depends on several factors. It depends on your own skill level when it comes to things like photography and graphic design. And it also depends on what your brand is. What do you want it to look like? Is there a cover designer out there that can bring that vision to life? Same thing with the blurbs and the audio and the video for your books as well. What do you want the media to know about them? What do you want the media to learn about your characters? How do you want to introduce them to your books? Do you want to do an intro video? Do you want to do character profiles? How do you want them to feel when they open your media kit? Once you have the media kit ready to go, then it's really about thinking about, okay, in that email pitch, what are you going to tell them? If you have a strong position ready to go, you will know which parts of the story that you can share that will answer these questions. Number one, what makes your story unique? And number two, why should they care? Why should their audiences care? Focus about the themes of your story and why things like mental health is important, representation is important, showcasing different cultures are important. What is it about your book that you really want them to learn about your characters, the themes, and about you as an author and your reasons for writing the book? So focus on pitching the strengths of your story that you've previously brainstormed. Once the media kit and the media pitches are ready to go, it's about developing a robust media contact database to get in front of the right readers. And really, what it's about is developing positive relationships, positive and strong relationships with media outlets in order to get in front of the right audiences, the right readers, where they spend their time. So building that robust media list is about reminding yourself of what your key objectives are. If, for example, what one of your key objectives is to increase sales among fantasy readers, then what platforms do you want to focus on to reach that genre? Do you want to do interviews on podcasts? Do you want to go after book review sites where they have live events as well? Do you want to present and become a vendor at fantasy book fairs? How do you want to reach the right readers and develop positive relationships on an international scale? If one of your objectives is to do a regional book tour by doing book signings at bookstores and other venues in your particular region, then who do you want to get in front of when it comes to local and regional media, when it comes to local mainstream media? Really thinking about not just what you want to do, but who do you want to get in front of? Who do you want to see an interview with you, read the review, and pick up a book? So developing a robust media contact database is about reminding yourself what your goals are, and how you want to complete that media contact research. Remember what I talked about when I was focusing on mindset earlier. When you're developing that contact database, you don't have to stay glued in front of the computer for 5 hours straight to try and build a list of 500 in one day. You can break down the task into, let's say this week you only have half an hour. Take that half an hour, and if you only find 5, that's fine. You're still making progress to building your list and moving forward. Once your campaign has started generating results, then it's about taking a closer look at these results and seeing how you might need to change your approach for further campaigns or further outreach, or looking at how it's helped you achieve your actual objective. So things like you've done 3 author podcast interviews in a month, and you've shared those author podcast interviews in your email newsletter, you've shared clips on social media, you've talked about it with your Facebook groups and gotten into conversations about it. What's been the impact on sales? How did the guest posts you wrote for key industry blogs over the last 3 months help you land your first workshop presentation that you applied for? Did you promote it enough? Did you highlight key quotes that really showed your expertise, your knowledge, and your education that made you a great fit to present at a particular book festival? Now that you have an idea of what some of the key results are, let's talk a little bit about using the right tools to measure your campaign results. The best way to measure key results, whether we're talking event coverage, interviews, reviews, live Q&As, is to use media monitoring tools. What media monitoring tools can help you do is to gauge the quality of results, give you consistency in your promotion schedule, because every time a piece of media coverage goes live, you can promote that on social media and through email, and it can really help you engage the right audiences. That is, grow your audience by engaging readers that follow the media outlets you've built relationships with, and help increase your readership that way. So here are just a few of them. Proudly Mention and Agility PR Solutions all help monitor media coverage as it goes live through things like keywords, hashtags, and mentions of both you as an author and the name of your book. So, as they go live, they will tell you things like who has shared that piece of media coverage, when they shared it, and the approximate audience that sharing that has reached. So it will help you capture and collate these pieces of media coverage and help you organize it a little bit easier. And you're not having to always ask the media outlet when that particular piece of coverage will go live. I know I've covered a lot of ground in the presentation today, and I'm sure you have further questions that you might want to ask. So any questions that you have, I want you to know that you can reach out to me at my website at inretrospectwritingservices.com, by email at lillian@inretrospectwritingservices.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at Lillian Sue, copywriter PR. On Instagram, I'm there 5 days a week, consistently posting mindset tips and strategies on how to build an effective PR campaign to reach your goals. So join me on Instagram. Thanks again, and I look forward to hearing all of your questions.